Nassima al Sadah is a Shia human rights writer and activist from the restive Shiite majority Eastern Province Qatif, Saudi Arabia. She has campaigned for civil and political rights, women's rights and the rights of the Shia minority in the Eastern Province Qatif, Saudi Arabia for many years. She ran as a candidate in the 2015 Saudi Arabian municipal elections but was disqualified. Sadah and another prominent activist, Samar Badawi, were arrested on July 30, 2018, by Saudi authorities in a broader, government crackdown on activists, clerics and journalists. According to the Committee to Protect Journalists, Sadah, as a columnist and commentator for the Saudi news website Juhaina, wrote about human rights, specifically women's rights including the political participation of women, Saudi nationality laws of Saudi Arabia, and the UN campaign to end violence against women. Sadah, like other women's rights activists, campaigned to abolish the male guardianship system and the right to drive without the consent of a male relative. Women are not allowed to make major decisions. In 2012, Nassima al Sadah filed a lawsuit against the Traffic Department of the Interior Ministry at The Dammam Court in Eastern Province, as part of a larger campaign to get behind the wheel and revive the Women to Drive campaign that gained international attention during the 2011-12 Saudi Arabian protests of the Arab Spring. Manal al-Sharif and Samar Badawi had already filed similar lawsuits. Women were granted the right to drive in Saudi Arabia in June 2018. According to Human Rights Watch, on July 30, 2018, Sadah and Samar Badawi, both prominent activists, were arrested by Saudi authorities in a government crackdown on activists, clerics and journalists, including many activists of the Saudi anti-male guardianship campaign. Between May 2018 and February 2019, at least 15 human rights activists, including several women human rights defenders, detained without charge in Saudi Arabia. Amnesty International reported that Nassima al Sadah, who, as of February 2019, has been held in prison since July 2018 without charges or a trial, had been placed in solitary confinement in early February 2019 in Al Marbaith prison, before being transferred to Al Hayya prison in Riyadh, according to their November 20, 2018 report based on 3 separate testimonies. AI said that the activists held in Al Marbaith prison were repeatedly tortured by electrocution and flogging, leaving some unable to walk or stand properly. According to the Washington Post, a Saudi official denied that torture was condoned by the state. According to a Human Rights Watch March 7 statement reported in the New York Times, Saudi interrogators tortured at least 4 of the women with electric shocks, and by whipping their thighs and sexually harassing and assaulting them. In June 2021, she has been released alongside Samar Badawi after completing her prison sentence. According to the Washington Post, the trial for 10 of the women rights activists, including Samar Badawi and Nassima al Sadah, began on March 13, 2019. Amnesty International described the crackdown as an unprecedented level of persecution of human rights defenders in Saudi Arabia, 1 year following the arbitrary detention of Saudi Arabia's leading women human rights defenders. Amnesty International called for the immediate and unconditional release of Lujin al-Hatlol, Iman al-Nafin, Azizar al-Yusuf, Samar Badawi, Nassima al Sadah and all other human rights defenders detained and facing trial for their peaceful human rights work, and described the arrests of the human rights defenders engaged in peaceful human rights work as arbitrary. In March 2019, Amnesty International called the immediate and unconditional release of Lujin al-Hatlol, Iman al-Nafin, Azizar al-Yusuf, Samar Badawi, Nassima al Sadah and all other human rights defenders. According to an August 7, 2018 in the National Post, Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Chrystia Freeland openly criticized the Saudis for the arrests. Saudi Arabia retaliated for Canada's interference by expelling the Canadian ambassador and freezing all new trade between the countries. On International Women's Day March 2019, The CPJ highlighted the number of female journalists who remained in prisons around the world, listing Nassima al Sadah specifically. According to a March 7, 2019 article in the New York Times, in a landmark initiative, 36 member nations of the 47-member United Nations Human Rights Council rebuked Saudi Arabia for its aggressive crackdown on free expression. It was the first time states had ever confronted Saudi Arabia, who is a UNHRC member, over its human rights record. The UNHRC statement specifically named Lujin al-Hathlol, Iman al-Nafjan, Azizar al-Yusuf, Nassima al Sadah, Samar Badawi, Nauf Abdelaziz, Hatun al-Fassi, Muhammad al-Bajadi, Amal al-Habi and Shardan al-Anazi, all of whom were arrested in the May